Had a big old crusties last night though. And 5 rice cakes. Salted caramel rice cakes from Marks and Spencer's. Oh. Right. 211. See, this has got us at 14% body fat. This is what I mean. 14.4. But what was it the in-body had is it like 4.5% or something like that. So everyone's different, but at least it's consistently the same. Because, let's see where this is. History. Yeah, so come have a look at this. This is from FitTrack. So I've only used this scale twice because it's brand new, and we've been using it with some of the clients and stuff, but you can see how that's like gradually came down slightly. So from body fat, like you can see that it's came down, but I mean, that is probably not true still. Oh no, I did 4 readings. But I'm definitely, I mean, I'm not being too nice to myself. I'm definitely lower than 14. But again, all machines, everything you do are so inaccurate, like most of the time, but like it's the same. So as long as it's consistent, it's still a good way of like measuring your body fat. So like the in-body fat is at like 4.7%, which is crazy. I think I'm more like 8, yeah? But if that's consistently like that, it might be like 4.7 and it might go 4.8 if it goes up, or it might go 4.3. This might be the same, like it might go 14 and 13%, but at least you know it's the same. If that went from 14 to 4, then back up to 16, you'd be like, the scale is horrendous. So I don't know how accurate it is, but there it is. As promised, we are going to show you, it's whiteboard. It's whiteboard, I was going to say it's whiteboard Wednesday, it's a lie, it's whiteboard Friday. Anyway, we're going to show you, or at least talk about, how to maintain strength and muscle mass while doing endurance training, while being a hybrid athlete. The real thing is just dye your hair blonde. Works. No, seriously. This was one of the, probably the most common questions, and it was in the YouTube comments last week, so let us get into it. Okay, I'll stop waffling. Now, what has actually changed in the whole time period? Now, to think about it seriously, I would say the date when I really committed to this was probably, do you reckon it was end of Jan? Something like that?
Yes.
It's probably been a while now. Now, my weight pre this, I would say, would hover around 100 kilos, always around 100. If I was in a real strength phase and perhaps cardio was down or expenditure was down and winter and all of that stuff, maybe 102 is the highest that I've been in recent years while I've still been doing strength training and functional fitness. So 102 on the top end,
100 kilos on the bottom end. And now my weight in the last month has been anywhere from the range of 94 and 96 kilograms, being 94.7 kilograms, 210 pounds this morning, which I think you saw. So that is the difference in terms of muscle mass, in terms of body weight, okay? Now, with that being said, I think that I've definitely got leaner. But I would say, if I'm being honest, I would also naturally lost a bit of muscle mass, which is fine because we'll go into that, but it's inevitable, okay? Out of that, the sweet spot where I would say, taking out Ironman training, where do I feel the best in terms of everything overall, in terms of strength overall, in terms of fitness for most things, is about 98 kilograms. And the reason I've wrote that for is because through this process, it has made me learn what I feel the best at for everything, okay? And the reason for that being is now we're into the last 3-4 weeks. I've got Hyrox in like 10 days, got the Ironman, the first Ironman in 3 weeks, and then I've got 3, 5, and 7 for, this is how close we are now. And I would say that even though I'm feeling better than ever in terms of endurance, I have, and this is what we've been trying not to do, but I've kind of went a little bit too far in that direction now. And I would say that my strength training is suffering now, okay? Like deadlifting last night, crushing us. So through this process, it has helped me learn where I feel best at 98 kilograms because bodyweight stuff's better, gymnastics is better, still maintain that top end strength, give or take. It's not absolutely my best, but I'm happy with it. But also being able to like run 5Ks close to 20 minutes and do most things at a good level, okay? What has changed again? The training split and the training style. You've got to think, when I am doing what I did before, I was probably hitting some form of strength training and hypertrophy at least 5 times per week, if not 6, okay? So that might not necessarily mean that I wasn't doing a lot of cardio, a lot of conditioning, because you know that I love a 40-minute EMOM and stuff like that, but I would say I was touching a weight up to 6 times a week of some way, shape or form, right? Now, the training split and what has changed slightly is the fact that I'm now probably only lifting 4 times per week. And there's been some weeks where, because of fatigue, I've had to sacrifice it at even 3 times per week. So I'm probably missing 2 strength training sessions. So my total volume for that is probably down. But the endurance training is massively up. I'm swimming twice a week. I'm doing 2 or 3 runs. I was on 3, but my running has actually massively improved. And now it's the bike that's taken over. So now we're doing a lot more outdoor bikes. But we're probably hitting 12 sessions a week, 2 a days every day, Monday to Saturday, and then Sunday is rest day. So in terms of what I do, in terms of how many times I train, I've always trained like a maniac, but the stimulus is very different. I'll give you an example. On a Monday, normally, it would be maybe in the morning, 10 sets of 500 meters on the rower. So some sort of conditioning like that, which helps CrossFit, functional fitness, all of that. And on the nighttime, it would be maybe a snatch, a clean, and then kind of like a leg day, okay? Whereas it's very different now. In terms of nutrition, I would say total calories are slightly up, okay? I would say that when I was doing 10K steps a day, when I was doing my strength and functional fitness training and stuff like that, you're probably looking at my expenditure being more like maintenance, more like 3,400, 3,500. Whereas I would say now my expenditure is 4,000 plus every day. So we'll probably added 500 to 600 calories, maybe even obviously 700, and we'll go into that in a sec. So that is what's changed. Now, the things that I've found, and the best things that I've found to maintain strength and muscle mass, because I've had a lot of comments saying like, how are you managing to keep this? Because 95 kilos is still quite heavy. And this is something new to me. Lifting heavy, but not to failure, okay? I love going to failure. My favorite, what made us fall in love with training was bodybuilding, hardcore, trying to go to failure, 1 top set, 1 back off set, all of that stuff, loving all my like my friends, or what I would like to say, or people that I like in the fitness industry, I still love a little bit of bodybuilding and trying to go and fail and max out, okay? We love maxing out at school. But what I found was, as I was starting that, the reward to fatigue level was negative, okay? So I wasn't reaping the benefits. So what I've had to start doing is lifting heavy, but using this term RPE, perceived exertion levels, okay? So this is essentially where you think of it. So Fergus Crawley, who has been coaching me, has done this a lot, and this has kind of been I understand it, okay? I've actually used the terminology and done it with clients before, but it's something that's a little bit newer to me in terms of doing it myself, because I really struggle not to go balls to the wall and not to just send it on everything. So stuff like doing a back squat for 5 reps, but RPE 8. So really, if I really wanted to, I could probably get 7 reps with that same weight, but I'm actively trying to hold back and hold that intensity, right? The second thing is TUT, time under tension training. I think that things that I do really, really well with when my strength begins to drop, and this is something that I've done in the recent weeks, and I think this is kind of why I keep my legs all the time, okay, because quite a lot of the comments has been about my quads on Instagram. I control the weight, even when it's lighter, quite well from being around some good bodybuilders and good physique trainers when I was younger, so it maintains a lot of tension on the muscles that I'm working, okay? So I'm not just lifting a weight from point A to point B. Powerlifting has not been my bag, even though we still do lift heavy, but that time under tension has been what's obviously recruited a hell of a lot of motor units, and that is what's maintained that muscle mass. This one is a funny one. Drops in intensity, but matching volume. So what I mean by this is, because I've came from the past couple of years being really hardcore on functional fitness, when I finish a set of 10 on dumbbell bench press, I'm pretty much ready to go in 45 to 60 seconds. But the quality of the reps when I'm doing endurance training and hybrid training, so the quality of the reps when I've been doing that have been poorer if I'm having to force myself to rest longer. So I've actually been resting for like up to 2 and 3 minutes in between sets. But this is because I obviously am a little bit fresher, and it allows me to obviously lift the same amount of weight that I've been doing in previous weeks. So I might not be progressively overloading as I'm getting lighter and losing strength, but I'm at least trying to match my volume from the previous week. So for example, if I do 4 sets of 10 at 40 kilos on dumbbell bench press, I'm trying to at least make sure that I do that. But how I might trick my body, I'm not really tricking my body, but just for layman's terms, I'm giving myself increased rest periods as I get lighter, as I get like obviously deeper into this hybrid training cycle, to try and at least maintain that. So that's been something that I've done. And the last one, kind of a combo between these last 2 points, is getting calories right and being very, very in tune with what I'm burning. Now, at the start of this whole process, what I would say is we were monitoring my calories vigorously for before. So what I was saying before is my maintenance used to be about 3,500 for training like strength, bodybuilding, CrossFit, functional fitness. That's what it was, okay, 3,500, and that would maintain me at 100 kilos, okay? But obviously my output went higher, but at the start we didn't really know how high it was actually gonna go. So instead of increasing my calories, we were doing exactly the same, but whatever session that I did, so if I had a 40-minute swim, look at the watch, say it was 400 calories, and we would eat back about 70 to 80% of that 400 calories. Okay, does that make sense? On the day, say I had an hour's run, I would have my 3,500, and say I burned 1,000 calories, I would have to add on 700 to 800 calories on top of that 3,500. And this was only the first like 2 months that we did this. After a while, what's kind of happened is, because I've been doing this, I've kind of learned that my maintenance is about 4,000 to 4,200 depending on what I do during the day, and now that is just easy for me to just maintain and do that. There are some days where I'm absolutely starving, and there are some days where I'm like, this is definitely enough, but that's kind of just, check yourself before you write yourself. That is kind of just me understanding my body after a while. But at the start, when you first start hybrid training, one of the best things that you can do, say you've came from a bodybuilding background, and you are used to push-pull legs, upper, lower, so 5 training sessions a week, work out your calories based on that person, the exact person that you are right now, because you've probably done it for years and you're used to it, and just eat back 70 to 80% of the endurance sessions on top. And that should hopefully maintain that. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I've rambled on for a while, but I feel like these things have been the saving grace of me not turning into a Mo Farah rig. And he's an absolute animal, and I love Sir Mo Farah, but I would not want to be that light personally, because I love lifting, and I will be going back to that as soon as we're done with this. We're going to get strong, baby. That is it for the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Little bit of science to finish off, but yeah, Hyrox session and all that good stuff earlier on. Hope you enjoyed the little B-roll. And we are very close, and we're going to take Joe behind the camera to Hyrox in Manchester for the World Champs very soon. I think that's everything. So smash that like button, give it a thumbs up, comment below, and shout out to the guy that gave us the motivation for this video in the comments on YouTube. So we actually do read them. Peace out. One love.